y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, heavily requested video here today about the Trump tariffs. Yes, Trump tariffs. So, I have well, it's not a sticky note, it's a ripped out of one of those little notepad notes, but whatever. I've got a piece of paper here with everything that y'all wanting to see on it. So y'all have been asking me these questions here. Y'all have been asking me how bad or how good will the tariffs be for the United States? What effects will this have on other countries / the global economy? Will Trump recall / stop the tariffs? And then if we have any extra time, or maybe we'll do an extended video for the Perk Squad, how should we prepare? Anything else we need to know? You know, those kinds of various questions here. So basically today's video is all about Trump tariffs and all of the what ifs, ands, buts, all the things that we need to know. I believe there is a puppy back there. Scooter is asleep. Okay, so he's behaving for right now, so we're gonna take it. Take whatever I could get. He's behaving currently. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into these questions. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we do take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that freak you out. Got a good track record here on the channel, and I'll go ahead and bring up those cards right there and move this microphone right here. Okay, old Penelope. Got Penelope in blue, matching these little earrings. So, yeah, I love these little earrings. These are cicada wings. If you're from the South, you know about cicadas, the little critters that scream in the trees all damn summer long. So, here's some cicada wings. Obviously, she doesn't hurt any cicadas with these. This is if she finds any deceased cicadas, then she harvests their wings and uses them in her jewelry. I get these off of Etsy. I should link that. Let me write a note. I will link that for people who are curious, because I've worn various different ones of these before and people have been like, "Oh, I like those." So I'll be a good girl and link her little Etsy shop on here. She's from North Carolina, so she's my neighbor here from South Carolina. She's my north neighbor. Alrighty. Anywho, cards, tariffs. So, may as well start the video on a fun note. We always end them on a fun note with the B-rolls, because I imagine that all of the meat of the video here is probably not going to be a whole lot of fun. There's probably going to be a lot of heaviness in here. There's people feeling all different types of ways about these tariffs. Some people are really scared of it. Some people are really angry about it. Some people are cautiously optimistic. Some people are downright excited, being like, hell yeah, it's about time. You know, there's a lot of mixed feelings about this all around. So we're just going to jump right all into this and see. So let's get with this first question I have down here. Basically, you know, how bad or how good will the tariffs be for the United States? So, you know, basically, what kind of effects are these tariffs going to have on us regular normies here in the United States? And y'all know, like I said, I'm a mental health clinician and a spiritual intuitive. I am not an economist. I am not a CPA. I am none of those things. I'm a girl reading cards, and this is all alleged just my interpretation. I just happen to have a good track record. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, take it as you will. So, what kind of effects will these tariffs have on the United States? Is it going to be good or bad for us? And basically, just wanting to see here whatever we can know, whatever we are allowed to know here. Alrighty, so any context cards that I want to get straight off the bat? No, I'll leave it at this. Okay, so as I start hitting my camera and stuff, there's kind of a lot going on here already, and we just now pulled some cards. I will note that it's not good to see this in reverse, or this in reverse, or this in reverse, or this in reverse. It is good to see both of these upright. So already we're kind of seeing that there's, if we're talking about percentage of good to bad, if we're going to get, crude and do kind of percentages or ratios here, I would say that we're looking at some pockets of good, mostly not so good. Just putting that out here. As we're kind of looking into the details here, what I am seeing, 10 of Wands in reverse, Page of Swords upright, 4 of Swords upright. This is looking like a burden that we can't shoulder, basically. Gonna drop these sticks that we're trying to carry. We can't shoulder that. Page of Swords upright is like there will be some bright ideas that come about, which is a positive thing. I want to make note of the positive and the negative. I want to realistically read everything I'm seeing here, good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent. And so a positive here is that there will be some bright ideas. I see Teddy jumped in some kind of a way. I don't know. He went something. Nope, there he is. Oh, gosh, which way? There he's coming. That there's going to be some bright ideas. By that, what I mean is that it gives me the sense of like innovation, or, what do they say? There's a saying, and I can't think of the actual saying, but there's some sort of a saying about like necessity being the mother of invention, or something along those lines. There's some kind of a saying like that that's coming to mind here about that Page of Swords. It's basically feeling like as things feel clamped down or on the struggle bus some sort of a way, that people start to be like, I've got to get creative to figure out how to sort this out in a way that I can live with, in a way that is going to help me out. I want to do XYZ, or I'm going to start this, or I'm going to partner with so-and-so and do that, or, whatever, getting creative about things. And I do see that happening. So that is a positive here. That is a positive, trying to, kind of get creative and problem solve in ways that we wouldn't have done had we not been in that kind of a situation. However, 4 of Swords here. This is kind of sitting still, laying and waiting, watching and waiting, trying to figure out like, okay, is this going to be bad? Is this going to be good in the long run? I'm trying to wait it out and see. So there is some sense of people not being sure of the, I guess, long-term implications, long-term impacts and effects of what's going on here. So that is still kind of up in the air for me to see this coming up here. So as there are people already speculating on long-term effects or impacts, and, some people are saying, I think it's going to be good in the long run, I think it's going to be terrible in the long run, whatever, people are speculating on that already. This is showing that very much is hanging in the balance still, that is a to be continued, to be determined, that people who feel like they can go ahead and say, I know for certain this is going to be great or terrible in the long run, that they can't actually with certainty say that, because there's a lot more that is going to play out basically surrounding this. So with the bottom row, Temperance card in reverse, 2 of Swords in reverse, 4 of Cups also in reverse. With these, gotta be honest, timing is not so great at this. There are some decisions being made that are kind of set in stone in a way that is possibly too inflexible, too stubborn. And so with the Four of Cups in reverse, this is kind of feeling like stuck between a rock and a hard place, where it's like, okay, because of the timing of all of this, and because there is inflexibility and stubbornness about certain decisions that are getting made in this, we're gonna be put in a weird position here. I do see that we're gonna be put in a predicament where we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't, in various ways. What we're seeing is, you know, some not so bad, and then some spaghettios kind of thing, like and again, just a girl reading cards. I feel like I gotta say this over and over and over because I know that I'm out of my lane with this. Let's pull these up and kind of stretch this to beyond just the United States here. So we're seeing here that there are some pockets of good for the tariffs in the United States, but mostly that this does not look like a positive thing for us here. And so what about in terms of the other countries and the global economy here? Because, you know, maybe there's some ways that things could look good there, or maybe there's some things that could be really bad that we really need to know about. So let's take a peek into that, getting all shuffled up here. And as I get shuffled up, I am thinking we'll probably need to do an extended video today here for Perk Squad members, because we're probably just not going to be able to fit it all into this main video. So if you would like to see the extended video after this, then you can become a member of the Perk Squad with the join button down below or the link in the description box, whichever. There's lots of different perks there. Just click the button, it'll tell you all about them. Additionally, things that aren't listed there are that we do weekly forecasts every single week to kind of have a heads up on what's coming, and also sometimes y'all get early release videos too as a part of the Perk Squad. And certainly there are shout outs in all of these videos for Perk Squad members. So shout out to you, Jenny Miles, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. So shout out to you, Jenny Miles. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you, of course. So I think we're all good shuffled up, even if that was a shit shuffle. Let's try that one again. Boom. There we go. All right. So what about the rest of the world? Global economy, other countries, these U.S. tariffs. Oh shit, card dropped. We're gonna take it. All right. Again, See? Like literally, it's the one that flew out so much that it landed on the floor and had to pick it up and put it here. And it was the one we had right over here. It was in this upright position in this top row, just like last time. So I like it when sometimes I'll sit here and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle, and then there will still be some similarities coming out, because I'm telling you, it really shows that thematically we're dealing with the same topics, where this is weaving in, you know, from one question to another within the same topic. It just makes sense for this. So good. I've got this coming up here. My phone just lit up, and that reminded me that I need to show y'all the time. So at the time of filming this, I always do this, it is 5:20 on Tuesday, April 8th. 5:20 on Tuesday, April 8th at the time of filming this video. So, anywho, what we're going to do here for other countries. This is my card that talks about, you know, overseas, other countries, things like that. So it's coming up here, and both of these, in fact, all three of these in this top row, coming up in this upright position to show that other countries are going to be more okay than we are in the United States. In fact, the funny thing, ironic thing about this, however you want to word it, here's our two reversals. Here's our four uprights. So remember how on the last one we had, the two reversals and we had the two uprights and four reversals carved out in that shape. Now we have the opposite carved out in the opposite shape. So literally what's happening for us, there's kind of a somewhat of an inverse type of thing happening across the world. So with these uprights that I'm seeing here, it's like other countries being okay, but watching and waiting, just like how it showed with us, watching and waiting, seeing how this will be long term. I'm seeing that for other countries as well, but I'm seeing other countries be able to provide for themselves even with whatever it is that we're doing here, whatever it is we're doing to ourselves, whatever it is we're doing to others, I see them being able to provide for themselves just fine. And I see them having some sort of sense of safety net. I don't know exactly what that is referring to. I don't know if safety net means that they have something within their own countries that keeps them strong, or if they have something in terms of their interrelations with other countries that keep them strong. I'm not sure, could be both, but it's coming up here to look like mostly other countries and the global economy could be relatively unaffected by these tariffs compared to the experience that we're going to have here in the United States. So as I'm sitting here in the United States, I'm like, ouch, that hurts. These two reversals, though, we'll touch base on these real quick. 9 of Swords in reverse, 5 of Wands in reverse. What I'm seeing with this is that there's going to be a lot of paranoia and a lot of internal, like, how do you put it? Like infighting almost, like, I don't agree. This isn't how we should handle it. No, we should handle it like this. Hey, let's get on the same page. I don't know about this. So there's going to be kind of this internal conflictedness within various countries on how to proceed about this. So they may waffle back and forth on how they want to address these issues. Like, do we want to take a very strong stance against this versus do we want to kind of pull inwards versus do we want to, form alliances with others because of this versus do we want to, how is this going to go politically? How is this going to go financially? How is this going to go So it does look like there would be some kind of somewhat frenetic, like, running around with chickens with your head cut off, trying to find like what is the best way to move forward on this financially, politically, and otherwise, in terms of other countries in the global economy. But overall, I see them faring much better in this than us. So, joy. So let's just pull these up, see what else we can find out here. See what else is in here about this. So the next question, it's been very interesting how they've given this to us so far, but we'll look into the next question here. Will Trump recall / stop the tariffs? A very good question indeed. Will he recall it? Will he stop them? What do we see about that? In fact, I'm just going to do a short pull on that and see kind of where that goes. Interesting. I was going to do a short pull, but here I go. I can't do anything short. Sorry. I've got to belabor things. That was just too interesting for them to end on this card. I'm like, ooh, please tell me more. So as I'm seeing this, it is interesting that they gave this card here. And I wanted to know the rest of the story because how this started out before I got the rest of this context, y'all know I like some context, is that it started out like him being like, no, I want to lay low. I want to stay with what I've got. I don't really have any intentions of changing my mind on this. I just want to sit here, wait, watch, and observe how people handle this and how things go with launching the tariffs. So this is kind of, sticking to it type of energy. But this is confusion energy. This is where things start to get a little bit confounded and confusing. And the Ten of Cups is a card that's usually a very positive card in the tarot. Usually kind of like, okay, things are kind of changing or getting to a point where they could be happily ever after, that kind of a card. And certainly can double as like a family card, things that affect families, children, etc. So I was like, okay, well, where is that taking us? I want to see. So what it looks like here is that as he's kind of standing his ground on this. Again, I'm not seeing him personally having any intentions of wanting to kind of, stop the tariffs or recall the tariffs, at least from what they're showing me here. But what they're showing is that in his viewpoint, no, we're planting seeds here, that these seeds are going to be watered and grown, and over time these seeds are going to grow into these large trees, aka over time these families are going to have their happily ever after moment. So it looks like this is through his lens that Trump is sticking with this, because it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, that he truly does believe that over time this is the best thing for families. However, Seven of Pentacles in reverse and Seven of Wands upright, I don't know if the decision about the tariffs will be 100% up to him forever. And I mean, obviously not forever. He's not going to be president forever. But I mean, like, this makes me wonder if something will be able to change. Because this is like, it's not going to be able to stay invested in this route for long. And this is kind of like bucking up against it and fighting card. So I think, and again, I don't know, who is allowed to set tariffs, who isn't, who is allowed to make these kinds of decisions, who isn't. I don't know where the power of all of this falls. I know the president has a lot of power, but he can't do everything by himself. I know a lot of money related decisions usually has to go through Congress. So it's making me wonder when I'm seeing these kinds of cards here, like, this is some fighting against it energy, where it feels like, even though he, from what I'm seeing here, does not have any intentions of recalling these tariffs, I'm sensing a change brewing in the waters that might cause this to change before it's all said and done. I would be very surprised if by the end of his 4-year term, we would still be under full-blown, expanded, huge tariffs, for everybody or whatever. I would be very surprised by that based off of what I'm seeing here. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's dive into why that is. Like, what is going to encroach on his plan about tariffs in such a way that it's possible that tariffs are repealed, recalled, renegotiated, or whatever else, that they change from what they are now. Let's just get a peek of what might happen to cause that. Let's see. So it seems here, in terms of what might happen to cause that, first of all, I'm getting this Six of Swords card upright. Whenever I get this card, again, this is kind of like my overseas card. So it makes me wonder if things that other countries do might have some sort of effect on this. Like if another country says or does something, and in their reaction or their response to the tariffs, it might start to put pressure on the United States and our, newfound stance on it. Also, with this talking about kind of a mixed bag of all kinds of stuff, and this being like hey, we're going to cut out the bullshit. This makes me really wonder that over the next, I don't know, I guess over the rest of this year, over the rest of 2025, if we might see a flurry of strange things starting to happen that kind of put pressure on the United States in the stance around the tariffs. Again, I think there will be other countries in their response or reaction to the tariffs. I think that that's going to start creating a weird environment of things where on the U.S. end, people start putting pressure. They're like, hey, we've got to cut something out, or we've got to change something, or we've got to tweak this, or we've really got to come about this a different way. So also being that this is a swords card, that sometimes cutting out the bullshit in legal ways. This can come up as like attorney cards or court systems or things like that. So it makes me wonder if somehow the justice system is going to get involved in this, or like if this pressure kind of comes in and from the outside and makes our stuff internally here in the United States come up about the legalities of this, or how do I put this, like how much can the president do until Congress has to be involved, or things like that. So this just whole mixed bag of like weird things happening, all these weird experiences or situations coming up from externally and internally that put pressure on the United States to revisit this idea of tariffs. I haven't seen Trump really take any kind of change in stance from what I'm seeing here, because again, he's really believing that this is a home run for us, that this is the best thing for families in planting these seeds to kind of really get this going. But here I still see some pressure anyway. And like, even if things end up changing, not as a result of Trump saying, yes, I'm going to have these things changing, but like if his hand is forced some type of way or something like that. So I don't know. I think this is a little bit more complicated than just Trump makes decisions on tariffs. That's that. I think that there's a lot more going on, again, externally in other countries and domestically, that I don't think he will be the only one having a say in this as we continue to move forward. And I see some of these weird confluences of things already kind of coming about and taking shape in 2025. Even if that means tariffs and stuff don't change until after 2025, don't care. We're going to still see this stuff bubbling up before then. So, oh Lord, this is gonna be a bit of a wild ride then, because if these things are gonna be kind of up for discussion and other people are gonna be weighing in from different countries, and internally our own country is gonna kind of try to start throwing some stuff at it, like we may have a bit of a battle on our hands, tariff battle on our hands. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, let's see. We have been going on here for a considerable amount of time. So, two things. One, if you would like to book a private reading with me, then BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can book a private reading with me as I get reshuffled here. Whether it's 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute readings, whether you want, Reiki Energy healing for a cleansing and clearing, a tune-up of sorts, whether you want intuitive healing sessions to kind of just have somebody to soundboard with and help you kind of drop some baggage and move forward and like just really get a lease on life in the way that you're hoping and the direction that you want, or whether it's just learning how to read the tarot cards the way I read them. All of those things are on BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can also read about it there if you're curious about any of the services. You can read about it there, get all your questions answered, and then certainly if there's any kind of business questions or anything like that, you can email me too. All that is linked in the description box below. So that's the one thing. Second thing, it's looking like we need to do a extended video and a B-roll, because Lord knows we always need to end these videos on a positive because this stuff is heavy. But on the extended video, there's questions here like, you know, anything else that we need to know, preparations, whatever, you know, some extra stuff here. This has been a lot of information, but can we get some more? So I'm going to be looking into that as well. And so if you would like to see the extended video, again, Perk Squad, link is in the description box below, or the join button is there too. And for the B-roll, I'm gonna put a little B-roll on the end of this. Puppy shenanigans. Again, I get nothing out of y'all watching puppy shenanigans except for that it's a nice pay it forward effect of y'all seeing something positive and it kind of lifting up your spirits from this heavy, crazy reading that we've had. Maybe some smiles, maybe some giggles, maybe some laughter out of that. So that's why I put them in there, is just to kind of help end things on a higher note than sometimes these readings can be. But also, if you have any other questions related to this, related to tariffs, related to, you know, the current administration or stuff like that, as always, write them down in the comments below. You know, I do the majority of my readings based off of people's requests, you know, people asking for what they want to see. So, you know, keep letting me know that. I will take a look into it. Perk Squad, I'm coming at you with some additional questions on this extended video, see what we can find out. And everybody else, stay tuned for some B-roll puppy business. Shenanigans, I swear. This household is shenanigans. So, anywho, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye. Are you having an existential crisis? Is this an existential crisis? Yeah. Are you in crisis? No? She's in an existential crisis. Oh. He's like, oh. And y'all are all here wanting my cream corn. Stay out of my cream corn. You know you need to go outside, go potty. Yeah, you know. You know you need to go outside, go potty. Easy. Do you see you? You need to go outside and go potty. Yeah, you do, Izzy. You need to go outside and go potty. You need to go outside and go potty. I got your booty, got your booty, got your booty. I got your booty, got your booty, got your booty. Grr. Tummy. Get his tummy. Let me get his tummy. Get the tummy. Hey. Hey, you. You're doing this the hardest way you can do. Nico, I take a potty. Yeah, we gotta get ready for bed. It's bedtime. Yeah, let's go take a potty. Oh, you want some ice cream cone? For whatever reason, this is looking at an ice cream cone. I don't know. Want ice cream? Yeah, she likes ice cream. Ice cream being the hole in my fist. I don't know how that came to be. It came to be. Let's go outside and piss. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it to it. Come on. Let's go pee-pee. You already went, didn't you? Good job. Good job.